Welcome, ladies. This is going to be a delicious experience. I am so happy that you have shown up here from all around the world. I want to make sure that this time together is well spent, that it is worth your while. My intention in showing up here today is to be open and to be generous and to flow with you. So I want to just start by saying, let's just go deep straight away. This is not the seminar for you if you want quick bullet points in 3 ways to do X. This is not that place. This is not your place if you want to solve a big problem in a simple way. No, leave while you still can. If you are here because you feel called from a deeper place to do work on yourself that has been taking a long time coming, but you're finally ready. Something is about to emerge. Something needs to come out. Something is ready. And you're awake to this. Then you're in the right place. I like to say that as learners, we have these different stages, much like seeds. And seeds start in the ground with a hard casing. And this is a learner's journey too. There's this hard casing. You don't see that you need something. You just are asleep to it. And one day something stimulates you. Some catalyst happens. Something triggers you to open. And for a learner, that's about looking around and thinking, wait a minute, things are not okay. I need to do something about this situation. This is not serving me anymore. And then with enough water, nutrients, sunshine, soil, and all those other good things that make plants grow and make people learn, you begin to emerge from that seed casing, coming out as a tender shoot, piercing through the ground, and there you are now in the full sunshine. Folks, I want to talk to you if you're in that phase right now where you're awake, your seed case is open, because I'm ready to put some nutrients in there. Show me some jazz hands if you're ready for that. Are you in the right place? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Good. So here's a question for you. I want you to take a piece of paper and something to write with, and please answer the following question with one word. Write it nice and big because we're going to share this. The question is, what is the one thing that is holding you back, that is your obstacle from showing up as the best version of yourself every time that you are speaking in front of audiences? Write that one thing down. Now, I know there's probably many things, but the one that's calling the loudest. Again, what is that one thing that is holding you back? This obstacle that is holding you back from showing up as the best version of yourself when you speak in front of audiences. When you have your answer, please take it to the camera on your laptop or your screen and show it. I want to see. Nerves, fear, show them. I want a whole quilt of words. Organization, paying a little closer, I can't see it. More, I want to see everybody's. All right, let me see. Time to prep. Carol, hi Carol, nice to see you. Let me see it closer. Softness, what is that? Software. Oh, I thought it said softness because that's important too. More, I want everyone holding this at the same time. Go. Sammy, what does that say? Hold it up. Oh, stupid. Procrastination, organization. I see a lot. I see a lot. Yes, I want to see Karen's. Not, I can't read the last word. Not ready. Thank you, everybody. Put your pieces of paper down. This is where we're going to go from. I want to give you value today. I want to keep it real. I want to go straight into what is affecting you the most. That's how I want to spend this time. So I want to start talking about fear. I want to start talking about fear because fear is a thief. Fear robs you of your ability to relax and to be at ease. And fear steals your authenticity. How many of you are ready to go there and talk about fear? Show me jazz hands. This is how we communicate. Yes. Good. Good. So I want to say a few things about this idea of fear in the first place. All right. When our hearts beat the fastest, we are feeling most alive. That's the way it is. And this heartbeat that we feel shows up in when we're excited, when we are doing physical activity, when we are in fear. And as far as fear goes and related to speaking, I want to tell you that fear will always be a part of it. There's never going to be a situation where you're not going to have any fear. You're a human being. And fear is hardwired into your system because that's what keeps you alive so that you can fight whatever is threatening your life, flight away from it, or freeze. So just accept that fear will be there. But here's an invitation. Also accept that there's a way to manage it. There's a way to do something about it so it doesn't steal these precious things from you, in particular, your authenticity. When we can't see you, which is your authenticity shining through, then we can't connect with you. This is at the heart of effective leadership speaking, by the way. This idea that you are working all of these different angles to make yourself visible for your audience. Because in that visibility, sometimes called vulnerability, we see you, therefore we know that you're a human like us, therefore we feel empathy and connection with you, and we want to hang out with you longer and listen to what you have to say. So what are some ways to manage fear? One of my favorite ways is to talk about preparation. And some of you had that on your cards. Not enough time to prep, etc., etc. And you might not like what I'm going to say, but this is what you need to hear. That, like Benjamin Franklin said, if you fail to prepare, you will prepare to fail. There is no silver bullet. I cannot count how many times people come to me and say, what's a really quick way to X, Y, and Z? And they hate what I say next. They hate when I say, oh, well, if you fail to prepare, you're prepared to fail. I say that first. And then I say, you have to rehearse until it feels like it's a part of your DNA. And this is about having a different kind of mindset because fear lives in your mind. This is a mindset where you're turning things around and thinking, okay, wait a minute. I've got to prepare for this. I've got to get ready. And I'm talking about your high stakes talks. I'm talking about those talks where somebody presses record and records you and suddenly you're all over the internet. I'm talking about a talk that is about you representing who you are from your core, and you've got to get it right. So these are the kinds of talks that you need to prepare for. And I love what Prince, my musical idol, said. He said, when you learn something, the more you learn it, the more it becomes who you are. So that's your modus operandi, to manage fear in one of these ways. You want to put it in your body, and you know you're done rehearsing when it feels effortless to deliver it. That's number one. Now, the other method that I want to share with you, which I love to talk to my leaders and change makers about, is about your internal compass. You see, most speakers that I interact with, the leaders and change makers that I work with, they have a compass. My thumb is the compass. They have a compass that points to them. This is the me show. It's about me, what I want to do, my agenda, my bullet points, my nervousness, my day, I. What you need to understand in effective leadership speaking is that it's not about you. It's about your audience. So that compass in your mind needs to move to face that audience because it's about them. It is you being an authentic service to them. It is you living your truth, just doing you and enjoying the experience of connecting with other humans and serving them. That this is about. It's not the me show, it's the we show. And you might be asking yourself, okay, well, what does that have to do with fear? What does it have to do with fear? Every single one of you on this call knows that when you give from a place of authenticity, it's natural, it flows, it feels good. And guess what it does? It vanquishes fear. Out the door. So those are two really powerful tools that I love to talk about related to fear. And these are things that you can apply. You can apply the mindset of, okay, I've got to prepare, and think about Prince. Listen to a Prince song the next time. Think about what he said, right? When you learn something, the more you learn it, the more it becomes who you are. And then think about where your internal compass is pointing. If you are using more I's and me in your conversation, your own pronoun, then we and you, the equation is unbalanced. That's how you know. That's how you know that you're in service to yourself. When, this is my background, this is who I am, this is why I'm wonderful, this is why you should listen to me. Nobody wants to hear your background. Nobody wants to listen to your resume. If they're interested, they'll look you up on LinkedIn. That opportunity is not for you. That opportunity is to build bridges with your audiences. Give me jazz hands if that makes sense. Yes, good. Let's go deeper now. I want to go to another layer. I want you to hold those cards up again, if you don't mind. I hope they're still handy. I need to be reminded about what some of those words were. Thank you. Yeah, again, nice and tight up there to the camera. Procrastination, nerves, fear. Yes. Carol, again, lack of confidence, stupid. Ooh, I've got to unpack that one. Sammy, unmute yourself. Please talk to me about that word. That's a very bold word. Please go there.
Hi. Just feeling stupid if you stood up and have to speak in front of people, even group, sort of smallish groups of people, making yourself look stupid.
Define stupid. What does stupid look like in a real world situation for you, Sammy?
Somebody asking a question maybe that you can't answer, or you can answer, but maybe have to think about it and can't answer it quickly.
Let me go deeper, because that's why you're here.
Okay.
Tell me about an experience where that happened to you recently.
It probably hasn't, because I don't put myself in the situation that I can, because as going back to what you were saying with the fear. So I don't put myself in the situation because I'm scared of making myself look stupid.
Thank you for that vulnerability. I appreciate that. So that is making my mind think, wow, then you're saying no to opportunities.
Yeah.
You are not arriving in places where you actually could make a big difference. And that's a block. Yeah. That word stupid is something that you need to dissect and think about and journal about and think, what is stupid to me? Why do I feel stupid about this? What is stupid about me showing up in my truth? Mm-hmm. The work that needs to be done there goes much, 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 much deeper than your 3, bullet point solution, typical public speaking tips that you get. This is about you and that seed casing. This is about that metaphor. Where in your life, and you don't have to answer it now, I'm just riffing off of what you're saying. Where in your life are you closing? Where are you blocked? Where are you not in flow? When you're talking to a group of people about a topic, where do you stop yourself? You feel yourself hold your breath. You need to become aware of what those things are in your life and identify them, put your finger on them, write them down, and deal with them one at a time. And then suddenly that answer of, actually, this is not about feeling stupid. This has another level. Maybe this is about, I don't feel like I'm enough. And why don't I feel like I'm enough? Where does that story come from? And the beauty of this whole experience, Sammy, is that your body is a book. It remembers everything. And your body is what you need to reconnect to when you feel something like stupid, because there's something in there. There's something in there where you have disconnected. When you feel disconnected from an audience, you're disconnected from yourself. So that's the work for you.
Okay.
And there's a lot of different layers there. I see Or is here. Bienvenue, Or. It's so wonderful to see you again. We had an amazing session live last week, the first live group, 7 of Or's colleagues. And one of the things that we did was we moved our bodies around a lot. And I think that this is such a missing piece from learning a skill like public speaking. In fact, it makes me cross when I see people, and with all due respect to my colleagues, but I'm tired of people showing up with their bullet point list and saying, this is how you speak in public. This is about a full body, inside out experience. This is about, let me open and wake up and move my whole body. Folks, we've never been more disconnected than we are from each other right now. COVID-19 has left us unhinged. We are fragmented. We're in pieces, and especially before the summer. I hope many of you got a chance to go out and reconnect with your souls. So coming out of this experience, I'm going to draw you a picture of what I see. I'm going to draw you a picture of the types of circumstances that are happening. The bodies, the people, the stories, the situations that are showing up in my inbox. This is a head, a human head. And this head is floating on top of a little tiny stick figure body. If you can't see that, I'm going to hold it closer. This guy. This guy is out of proportion. There is something fundamentally wrong with the dimensions of this. This is a head situation. This is about facts, figures, knowledge, details. I am done hearing about details. I want to see the human. I want to see this head connected to a body. I want to see who that person is. I want to be indulged. I want to be a little greedy and selfish and really get into this space with this person. So a lot of work in learning this toolbox is to reconnect with your body. And I'm just putting that out there as a big idea. But I want to get more into your world. I'd love to hear from one of you, like I did with Sammy. It was really interesting to hear your story, Sammy, your detail. I want to hear from one of you. What's another situation that you're dealing with? Let's go into the virtual space. What's another situation in the virtual space that's either blocking you or where you feel like there's just something that you don't know how to tap into? If you have an example, give me one jazz hand and wing it like this. If you have an example, because I want to pick on you and I want to dissect this. All right, what's an example of a virtual scenario? Either you're delivering your pitch, you're an entrepreneur. What are you struggling with is what I'm asking you. I want to make this relevant. Thank you, Ping. Go ahead and share with us, please.
I think for me is maybe just at the very basic level is the belief in myself.
Yeah. Tell me more. Go deeper.
Well, I wanted to work with children, and I think leadership is very important because, I know I learned leadership in bits and pieces, and I wanted to introduce that in like one area for children so they get exposure to all of this. Except then when I try to maybe pitch the idea or anything, and I don't, sometimes I feel like maybe I'm not deserving to get commitment from people because I'm not like the ultimate authority or anything, but I do have a lot of experience working with children from homeschooling and then, from what I've been learning about leadership as an adult.
Let's end it right there. I'm feeling the connection of what I need to say right now. I feel that you are not giving yourself permission to speak from your heart. So this is about what I call a core set, your core. Your core is you and your true living colors, who you are at the center of your person. And you kind of have to be in love with yourself in order to love other people.
Yes.
There's a little bit of work there, maybe that needs to happen. But just going with this idea, let me introduce something that's really powerful. And I think all of you will be able to understand this, and we can play with this a little bit as a group. So I like to say that your core is connected to one of the four elements. Yeah, we all know these elements. These elements are earth, they are water, they are fire, and they are air. And I want to describe each one, and I want you to think to yourself, which element am I? Okay, so number one, earth core. If this is your element, you speak slowly. You take your time with your ideas. When you move, you are safe and move with purpose and direction. Your audience feels safe in your presence. That is earth core. If you are water core, you're fluid. Your movement is liquid. Your water comes from your hips, so you're connected to your pelvis. When you speak, your voice moves like a dance. It's melodic and easy to listen to, and you make your audiences feel mobile. If you are fire core, you speak in sharp tones. You push yourself out to the audience. When you move with accents and angles. and your audience, their hearts beat faster. Finally, if you are air core, this is light and ephemeral, and there is air in your voice. When you move on your toes, and your audience feels young again. Which element are you? Where is home? So I'm going to number these elements. The first one, earth, is number 1. The second one, water, is number 2. The third one, fire, is number 3. And the fourth one, air, is number 4. Please show me by showing a finger, 4, 3, 2, 1. Which element are you? 1, 3. Everybody show a finger. Bridget, you too. 1. Ah, a lot of earth. Some 3s. Thank you, Nita. Yes. 4. Wow. Thank you. So what does this have to do with anything? This is very important knowledge for everyone who is serious about elevating their speaking. Because you are at your best when you are in your element. You have heard that before. Oh, she's in her element. This is my interpretation of that. This means that you can release into your authenticity and speak your truth and be the best version of yourself when you're just doing you. Let me also say that there's a shadow to this, that you tend to be the least best version of yourself when you're in the opposite element. Now, I'm fire core. You might have noticed that by now. Boom, boom, ba, ba. And I'm at my weakest, like my kryptonite, when I go to water. That's the opposite of fire. And in water, this sort of, for me, it's a scary place. It's too loose. It's not controlled. I need to do a lot of work on myself to understand how I can be in water. And full disclosure, I spent 30 minutes before this call doing flow exercises for my hips. So you need to prepare your body for the interaction that you're about to have. If you want to be in flow, which I want to be with you for your audience, I'm going to get my temple, my instrument ready. If you have a powerhouse meeting, you want to get your fire ready. So you listen to warrior drum music on your Spotify playlist. Yeah, on my playlist, there are songs for every one of these elements. If you want to connect with your team and root an idea, you go to earth. If you want to dream and ideate and feel like everybody can brainstorm together, go to air. But know that too much of anything isn't good. If you are too grounded, too earth, you bury your audience. I had a conversation with that the other day with someone who was too earth. And he was speaking and he spoke so slowly that with every word, he was shoveling dirt, and that hole in the ground is getting deeper. And not too long ago, I met somebody who was too watery. It was this, oh, I'm in water right now, and it's all about my pain. She was drowning in herself. And by consequence, I was drowning in her too. She needed fire, right? And too much fire, people, will burn you. I will burn you if I'm on fire too much. I know I will. I've done it before. I'm trying to keep the water though, right? You will burn yourself. You'll feel tired. You'll feel like you overextended yourself. You're feeling like you're not all there. That's what it feels like to go too far. And finally, you can do too much of air. You can be so high up here, like, wow, la la land, that your ideas just evaporate into the stratosphere. So everything has balance. Too much earth, bring in the tippy toes with air. Do things in your life to elevate that second element. Too much water, bring in the fire. Balance. Too much fire, bring in the water. Too much air, bring in the earth. Do you get this? Do you get this? I want some jazz hands to see that you get this. Thank you. Good. Now we're going to finally do some interaction because I have to actually do what I promised I would do. This is highly interactive. It's very tempting to just steal this spotlight and just keep talking because there's so much content here. Oh my goodness. So here's what I want you to do next. I want you to write this down. I'm going to dictate a sentence and we're going to play with it. We're going to take those words of Ben Franklin. Yes, we are. I want you to write down the following, please. If you fail to prepare, write that. and then there's a comma. You prepare to fail. Okay, so the full sentence on your little notebook says, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. Now let's take it to the elements, shall we? I want you to play. This is how we learn, people, right? I'm all about experience. I like to actually brag and say that my training is 95% experiential. All right, you're not going to learn this by thinking about it. You're going to learn this by doing it. So let's do it. Let's take that sentence. Everybody's on mute, else it would be a pretty wild show. Let's take that sentence and put it into earth. Okay, so I want you to embody earth. What does earth look like, people? I want you to get into kind of like a bump on a log presence. Yeah, a little bit of hunching, a little bit of connection here. Your feet should be touching the floor. Get some depth in your pelvis. Yes, and by the way, what your body does, your voice does. So when you say these different things, you're going to hear, whoa, is that my voice? So I'm going to count to 3, and then in your earth core, you're going to say, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. That's what you're going to do. And I really want you to exaggerate this because I want you to feel it. I'm counting to 3 now. 1, 2, 3, go. More. No, you're not grounded enough. Nope, too safe. Peggy, this is not earth core. All right? I am talking about bringing it down. Hang if you have to. I want this feeling of what is my anchor? Exaggerate. I'm going to count to 3 again. Let me see the earth core. 1, 2, 3, go. There it is. Yes, that drops everything. Absolutely. Do you feel how your voice changes? Give me jazz hands if you feel that. Absolutely. All proficient speakers know that they can move through these elements and get whatever effect they want because their body will do something and their voice will follow. Let's go to water. If you can stand up, please do that. If you can stand up, please do that. Remember I said water is in your hips. Ah, this is that place. This is where we connect. I once worked with a banker and I was so happy. We were working on flow together and he discovered flow with us, with me. And I'll never forget what he said. He said, wow, if I can unblock my hips, I can do anything. It's absolutely true. If your blockage is here, if you're moving and like, I don't have flow, that's where you need to be paying attention. And you need to be finding activities where you can do this as much as possible. All right, now we're going to say the same sentence, but this time in flow. We're exaggerating the water. Okay, yes, Emily, I love the stretch. Here we go. I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes, Sharika, get it. Yes. Yes, exactly like that. This is flow. Welcome to flow. This is what it feels like to be fluid, to be liquid. Some of you have your natural element here. So this is easier, like, oh, this is home, right? And those of you who do not have this as your natural element, if you're like me, if you're fire people, you'll be like, ah, this is not home. Good, stay standing, stay standing. We're still experimenting here. This is what we need to do. We need to try things out. We need to put things in the body and just see what happens. So now we're going to fire core. And some of you will be like, yep, this is me. Let's see what happens, okay? Same sentence, but now I want push. All right, exaggerate, let yourself go. I'm going to count to 3. You give me fire. 1, 2, 3. Absolutely. And I know that felt good. I know that felt good for some of you. You were releasing because you're blocked, probably. You gave that. And that's what it feels like to be free, by the way, FYI. Yeah, that's fire core. Okay. And you can see how that might burn you, make you tired. And you can see how that might burn your audience. But nevertheless, what does that do to your voice? Boom, power, boom. And this voice, this body, this presence, this core, this comes out when you really mean business. Yes. So you choose what element you are using based on, listen carefully, based on who you are talking to and what you are talking about. So you see your text. Stay standing, Carol. This is good for you. Everybody stay standing. There's more. We still have air. This is where you look at your content and you're thinking, where do I want to put this? What element does this need to be in? Is this a connecting moment? Let me go to water here. And that will change everything. In your rehearsal, exaggerate. You're like, here I am in my water. Eventually in your rehearsal, you will remove the arms doing that. You will remove this thing that you're doing with your hips, but your voice will stay that juicy, moving, fluid way, right? You're looking at your text again and you're thinking, this is where I need fire. Play, play. This is what we want to see as your listeners. This is the part of you that comes out that is alive, a human being communicating to us, not a robot in a small rectangle with no soul. We won't remember you. We will not think about what you said later. There's nothing about that moment that will stay in our hearts and minds. Now let's go to air. Sharika's like, okay, let's go to air. All right, let's do this. Some of you will hate air. I'm just warning you. Some of you will be like, this is the most stupid thing. If you have resistance to any one of these things, then that's what you need to work on most. Okay, this is a little secret thing. Like whatever you hate, that's where you need to work. So I'm going to count to 3. I want tippy toes, fingertips. Okay, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. Yes, yes. I'm going to have you do that again because I'm enjoying this movement here. I'm going to count to 3 again. More air. 1, 2, 3, go. Yes, well done, everybody. Bravo. Now you can sit. Now you can sit. Yes. So this is just a little window into the power of what you can do with a few simple ideas. That you can, on the one hand, turn fear on its ugly face and say, okay, fear, you're going to be part of my world. I know that, but I am going to manage you. You are not going to be managing me. And I'm going to do that by preparing until this is part of my DNA. And I'm going to do that by being an authentic service to my audience, because it's not about me. It's about my audience. I remember I was working with a tech leader and she said, Laura, I finally got it. I understand what you mean that it's not about me. And it's so much easier. She said, the weight is lifted from my shoulders. I don't need to make it about my anxiety and my stress and my PowerPoint slide deck. I need to make it about being in service to the needs of my audience. What do they need? What do I need to talk about that serves them? How can I talk about it and use my voice and use my instrument so that they get it? Then you cancel this fear. You say, this is not about me anymore. It's about you. You're what matters. Authentic service. And now we talked about your elements. And I am so nerdy about this. All knows this. From last week, I mean, we will spend, I'm doing an upcoming training session, by the way, which I'm creating just for you. If you want more of this, I'm going to talk about it at the end. But we are going to spend some depth and time and love and attention in every single thing that I have talked about so far. We are going to go in to who you are as a person and gently and lovingly release your authenticity back out into the world so that you can be the best version of yourself, so that you can show up and connect with your audiences.